Hey guys, it's just me. Hi, I'm Sarah. We'll throw that in just for fun. Hey guys, I'm doing a last minute live. I really want to talk about a few things about Big Brother, Janelle and Nicole feud. I covered that season of Amazing Race with David, of course. We can talk about the status of the BB22 house right now. Hi guys. LL Cool J, very cool name. Joe, Bethy. Oh my God, I was going to call you Berthy. I kind of like Berthy though. Hey, Hunter. Joe. LL Cool J, that's a pretty good name. Cody. Lady Di. Thanks, guys. I know it's last minute, but ever since last night, with this whole Janelle and Nicole thing, I've just been like, we got to talk about this. It is made it up. Oh, Tyra. Hi. Oh, welcome. Carolyn. Welcome. We love new peeps. Well, okay. So let's start out. Also, I did reach out to Jolene and Miranda and just said, hey, I'm going live last minute. If y'all are around, maybe they will join. Hope so. Hi, guys. The status of the house. Let's talk about the status of the house first, real quick, because the feeds just went down for noms. And so these are going to be live feed spoilers. Spoilers. Oh, it's not as fun without David. So these are spoilers. If you don't want to hear live feed updates, I'm sorry. Fridays are tough because there's so much happening. So first, they did play the safety suite this morning. We knew that Enzo, Nicole Franzel, Danny, and Memphis were the ones who could play. Tyler could play, but he is HOH. So they're the ones who were going to play. And there was a lot of talk last night about who they should pick for whoever wins, who they should pick for their +1, which thank goodness that they discussed it, because last week no one discussed it and Christmas went rogue with that Ian pick. So there were a lot of different talks. Danny really wanted to pick David. Nicole wanted to pick Day, just like as a repayment. Like they went through a lot previous seasons. So she was like, I just kind of want to like give her an olive branch. Enzo talked about picking Memphis to just be like, oh, he was HOH and he didn't put me up. I can get away with that as like, you know, they're all just trying to make like, who could they pick that doesn't show exactly who like they're aligned with. But ultimately Enzo did win. And he had a cute retell where he was like, oh, there were lasers and a Lego ball. And he was like very excited to play. He said it was a super fun comp. He won and he saved Christmas, which is interesting. Oh, Miranda's texting back. I'm saying on now if you want to join. But so she was chosen, which is a little odd just because I didn't hear them talking about it last night. Like that didn't really come up, but it's not really, it's not like super weird because they're all working together kind of. So, you know, Janelle and Kaser are like, of course they picked Christmas because we were telling everyone that they were targeting Christmas. So now they're trying to like cover their butt. So that's what it looks like to Janelle and Kaser. But, you know, the reality, I don't even know what the reality is because Enzo first wanted to do Memphis and then he was talking about saving Davon. And I think he even told Davon that it would be her or Christmas, which like, why would you say that? Maybe it was a casual chat. But he went ahead with Christmas. So I think Davon's not super happy about that. I agree, Patrick. I don't think Memphis wanted to play it. He feels safe and he doesn't want to pick anybody. I don't think he wanted to win. Yeah, last night Tyler told Cody to pick David. Yeah, they talked about David a lot, which of course David is Tyler's number 2. Christmas is Tyler's number 2. David is Tyler's number 2. Like he is locked in with those two. It was very obvious last night because as he was talking to everyone, he only gave David a beer and well, it wasn't a beer. It was like a hard seltzer or something like that. He gave one to David and he gave one to Christmas. He didn't offer it to anybody else. So it was like, that's clearly, and he told both of them, he's like, I'm not giving it to anyone else, just you. So he's trying to make Christmas feel like her number 2 and David his number 2, which is really good. Tyler's in a really good place, you guys. Those two are not as smart as him. They need him. They are loyal to him. And the rest of the house has not caught on that, has not clocked that yet. So Tyler's in a really, really good place right now. So that is the status of the house. It just went down for noms. Tyler is very open. He told Janelle and Kaser that he is just going with what the house is telling him, and that's them. So he's not hiding that fact. He didn't try. I was really kind of hoping that Tyler was going to try some like, all right, Kaser, look, let's do a secret thing. And, you know, the house wants you out, but we'll like play it off like blah, 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 something. I was like, Tyler, you're a genius. Figure it out. Come on. But he didn't. He's like, I don't care which one of you goes, but you're both going up because that's what the house legitimately is telling me. So that's what's going to happen when noms come back. The 2 of them will be on the block, and at least that means they both get to play for veto. So one of them hopefully can take themselves down. Yeah, Christmas is his Casey. So is David. He's got like 2 Caseys secretly. Yep, he's hiding behind the house. I mean, that's what he does. He's just very good at that. And week 3, I mean, I can't blame him for making this move, even though we don't like it. We don't want it, and we don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Who's willing to stream their own Amazing Race Survivor? I know, right? Those would be fun. I can't do my own. I don't know how to do it. No, I'm not that talented. Not at all. I know. Big moves will come, you guys. And honestly, once they take out either Janelle or Kaser, we're going to see big moves. Like one of them unfortunately has to go, because if both of them are in the house, we're just going to, it's like we're buffering. We're buffering in this same position where they're just going to be like, but Janelle, but Kaser, but Janelle, but Kaser. And one of them will go. The other one will be sucked into something, probably like Tyler will bring Kaser in or something like that. And they won't be the next target. And that's when, my opinion, Bay and Day are in not a great spot. It's going to be like them. Or if somebody's really bold, they'll go after Memphis or Danny or something like that. But unfortunately, that means one of them has to go. One of Janelle or Kaser has to go. So that people can focus on something else. I'm just double checking. Oh, what's Miranda saying? I look terrible. I've been packing all day and was about to get in the shower. Maybe next time. I'd love to, but literally looking like a melting lobster. Tell Miranda I put her picture on the live. Okay, so let's talk about Janelle and Nicole Franzel, y'all. That's okay. So when feeds came back last night, it seemed like some sort of altercation went down between Nicole and Janelle. It wasn't on feeds. We don't have it. And like Nicole Franzel thinks it was a really big deal. And other people were like, it wasn't really that big of a deal. So it's hard to tell if it was just like passing comments of, you know, oh, like just snickering like comments, you know what I mean? But Nicole Franzel feels like she stood up for herself. And Janelle's like, oh boy, don't come for me. I'll destroy you, is where we are with those two right now. But let's start from the beginning, because Janelle was sort of recounting what happened on The Amazing Race last night. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter being like, oh, Janelle's beef is because of The Amazing Race. And I don't think that's an accurate statement. So I want to back it up to the beginning of Big Brother 22, what we started seeing on the feeds. Because from the beginning of Big Brother 22, we had night one feeds, like they were down for a few hours. So we haven't seen everything. But night one and onward, we saw Danny and Nicole Franzel, super close. Friends outside the house. They came in ready to work together. And both of them throwing the target on Janelle. You know, oh, everyone's sort of fangirling over Janelle. She's a big target. She's the queen of Big Brother. Danny has said multiple times, she's got to go. She's got to go. So those two sort of led the charge of planting those seeds in everyone's minds. That's great gameplay. You know, nothing against that. They set up their target, and they really should get credit for the whole house being turned against Janelle. Because they went into the house from the get-go with that. Oh, there's Miranda. I was just telling them, I was reading your text out to everybody. So I know it was last minute. That's on me. But I was like sitting here going, oh, we just got to talk about this. So I'm going live. Thank you, Miranda. Next time. So Danny and Nicole Franzel set that target, right? They want Janelle out. They're, you know, passing that along to everyone. And I searched all day today trying to find this conversation, but I couldn't find it. So hopefully someone will help find it for me, where Janelle was talking to someone and saying like, Nicole Franzel's not even making eye contact with me. Like, what's like, there's some weird vibe. Like, I don't know what's going on. And somebody, whoever it was that she was talking to, said it has something to do with either Amazing Race. I don't think they said Amazing Race, but they said something outside of the house. They said it's something else. And Janelle was like, oh, Amazing Race? Is that what this is about? Because Janelle was the one that was like, why are you bringing that into Big Brother 22? So that was the first mention. And this was like in the first couple days of BB22. And again, I'm sorry, I can't find the conversation yet. I tried, but I will keep looking and I will find it for you. That was the first time that someone gave Janelle information that it was something outside of BB22 that Nicole Franzel has alluded to. And Janelle was like, oh, I know what that is. That's The Amazing Race. And she was like, I can't believe that we're bringing personal stuff into this game. But hey, they all have past relationships. So I honestly, my opinion is like, that's fair game. You can bring in anything. Yes, Fluffy, I am under the impression that Nicole Franzel brought it up first. Not, of course, to Janelle's face. Like, this is all just like Nicole talks to Danny, you know, and Bailey and Davon. And it got back to Janelle. And so Janelle is like, oh my gosh. And Janelle has like had Nicole Franzel's name in her mouth this whole time. So now Janelle is like throwing it back, right? Janelle's like, Nicole Franzel's got to go. She's close with Cody. And it's because they have this like past beef. Okay. So last night she was explaining it to Kevin and Davon in the bathroom of like what the beef actually is. And it's crazy because Janelle's not even involved. Janelle was on The Amazing Race. Her partner was Brittany. Nicole was with Victor, and Rachel Riley was with her sister Alyssa. It was the Riley sisters. I linked in the description to this video, I linked our original, David and I obviously covered this season. And the original recap episode of this episode in question, I linked it below. So if you want to go and hear that, I watched it back today to be reminded. So here's what happened. Those teams were on Amazing Race, right? So Amazing Race season 31 was Big Brother contestants, Survivor contestants, and Amazing Race contestants. It was an amazing season. Like, it was the best of the best, reality royalty. I loved it so much. Yes, exactly, Brandon. That's what we're talking about. So Janelle, so the Big Brother teams kind of had an alliance together, because the Amazing Race teams were doing that as well. Survivor, everyone just kind of like grouped together, right? All the Big Brother players know each other, and they're like, we've got to work together and help each other. The Survivor players were like, we got to help each other and work together. So that's the original sort of group. But Nicole and Victor, we called them Vicole, Team Vicole during the show. They really aligned with, or I should say, they really liked this team named Team Fun. They were Amazing Race team that was coming back to play. And Team Fun's amazing, you guys. Team Fun is really, really awesome. But they connected with Nicole and Victor. And so Nicole and Victor were feeling more aligned with Team Fun than Big Brother at this point. This was episode 6. So a U-turn is coming up in Amazing Race, and that means you have to make a team go back and do a challenge again. So everyone's talking about like, well, who do we U-turn? Who do we U-turn? And there was a conversation where Team Fun and this other team, they're called Afghanimals, they're sitting down at a bar. They're like at a pub. They're like drinking beers, literally just shooting the crap, chatting about like who they're gonna U-turn. And the Riley sisters come up and sit down with them. Now, before the Riley sisters sit down, everyone's talking about U-turning the Rileys. Like, that's coming out of their mouth. But when the Rileys sit down, Team Fun are like, maybe we'll U-turn Vicole, Nicole and Victor. And so when the Riley sisters hear that, they take that information back to Nicole and Victor, and they're like, hey, you guys, watch out. Team Fun and Afghanimals are talking about U-turning you. So in the Riley sisters' mind, they're working with Nicole and Victor. They've given them information to look out. Nicole and Victor, feeling closer to Team Fun than the Rileys, they go to sort of fact check this information. They go to Team Fun and say basically that, like, this is what we're hearing, you know, what are you doing? So it all gets back to just basically everybody. Everyone now knows what's going on. And there's this scene in a train where the Riley sisters are just lit. They are mad at Nicole and Victor. They are angry, and they basically like go off on them and are like, you know, where's your loyalty? You know, Rachel says this crazy thing about like, watch your brand is watching. Like, it was in true Rachel Riley style. You know how she is. She's fiery, and she was mad, and she was up in Nicole and Victor, like, how dare you cross us like this? And, you know, Nicole Franzel's thing. So she gets very like upset, and she gets very like, I'm a victim, and I can't handle conflict. Like, she's not very good when she's approached like that. So it was a hot mess. It was a big old fight. And then after they like play the whole day, the whole episode, you know, there's a team that ends up last on the mat. So the Riley sisters are second to last on the mat. So they're standing there checking in, and Nicole and Victor are the last ones to arrive. And so they step up onto the mat. So we've got the 4 of them standing together, and Nicole and Victor not only are like upset because they got yelled at, but they're also last, and they think they're about to be eliminated. So they're in a very bad place. And Phil, the host of Amazing Race, is like, I heard there's some drama today. What happened? And in true Riley sister form, they just go in on Nicole and Victor, who are already upset because they think they're about to be eliminated. And Rachel's like, let me just tell you, how dare you, and she just went in on Nicole. Now, when I was watching this, I was like, oh my God, this is awful. Like, this is the worst day of your life when you think you're about to be eliminated. You're last on the mat, and someone's just like really like putting salt in the wound, like yelling at you. And it was a hot, dramatic episode. And in our recap, David and I were like, this was like a Big Brother episode. This was so out of character for Amazing Race. It was so dramatic. And so that's what happened in the game. And then from that moment on, both Riley sisters have been roasting Nicole Franzel on Twitter, Instagram, social media. They've had plenty to say. They're not fans of Nicole Franzel. And so Janelle is friends with Rachel Riley. So that's where Janelle falls into this whole shebang, because Janelle wasn't involved on The Amazing Race. She wasn't involved in it. But in the real world, Janelle is friends with Rachel Riley. So we have learned that Nicole and Danny are close, and we've learned that Janelle and Rachel are close. So it appears that they have come into the house like Team Riley or not Team Riley, basically. What it comes down. It has nothing to do with Janelle. Right. It doesn't have anything to do with Janelle. And that's why I think Janelle was surprised when she first heard, in those first couple days inside the BB22 house, that that Nicole was bringing that into this game, because Janelle was not involved. Like, what does it have to do with her? But now that it's like a feud between them, Janelle's like, well, okay, I'm on Rachel Riley's side. Like, that's how she feels about it. She feels like Nicole ratted out the Rileys. It's not the first time someone has called Nicole a rat. So she's talked about, like, I'm not about that game. That's not how I play. I don't want to play victim, that kind of stuff. So that is where it has started and where it is, because it is definitely boiling over. And I guarantee that something is going to blow up this week. Nicole invited Janelle to her wedding, y'all. We've also talked about that nonstop in the house. But Nicole is going to uninvite her. Danny suggested that if Nicole wins HOH and nominates Janelle, that she should say, and you're uninvited to my wedding. They were laughing about that the other night. Yes, Maggie, it's like barely any beef. It's not really beef. And yeah, I was seeing people on Twitter being like, so Janelle's beef with Nicole is about Amazing Race. And I was like, I don't feel like that's it. I think Nicole's beef with Janelle is that Janelle's friends with Rachel Riley. And Rachel Riley has clear beef with Nicole. If you look at Rachel's social media, like, it is half just roasting Nicole Franzel. Yes, such a good point. She has 9 bridesmaids, you guys. How can she be against women? She has 9 bridesmaids. She has also brought that up quite a bit. Look, she is a snake. And if she would just admit it, I would be on board. Look, a snake game is not a bad game. It won her season. I am never going to fault someone for having a snake game. You know who's playing a snake game this season? Bailey. And I can't fault her for it. She's ratting out Janelle and Kaser left and right. You just have to admit it, Well, Jayla, good question. Because when I watched Amazing Race, I was definitely on Nicole Franzel's side because of the way that Rachel Riley was attacking her. I just thought, yeah, it stinks when your alliance member goes against you, but it was a bit much what Rachel was doing. And so I was just like, if you see your alliance member go against you, just don't work with them anymore. Just be like, oh, I see what you're doing. And bye-bye, you're out of my life. Like, that's it. That's game. Move on. And Rachel doesn't move on. So in that moment, I was on her side. But the fact that we are like bringing it into the BB22 house is a bit much. Again, I know we've brought in a lot. They know each other from parties. They've played with each other before. So we can't avoid bringing stuff in this season. I get that. So I think we all have to just like suck it up. But to be mad at Janelle for being friends with someone who's against you, I don't think I'm on Nicole's side right now, I guess, is how I'm going to. Stephanie saying, not a fan of Nicole, but you don't need to take it out. Yeah, I was a fan of Nicole. I definitely openly have defended her win. Like, I'm okay with the way she played that season. And her and Victor were adorable together on Amazing Race. It was really fun to watch them. Victor was great. But it just feels a lot. It feels a lot right now in the BB22 house. It just like doesn't need to be anything, Danny and Nicole can be like, Janelle's got to go because she's the queen of Big Brother and she wins vetoes and like she needs to go. Like, that's understandable. That's game. You don't have to be like, and she's friends with these people we don't like outside the house. That's weird. That's just weird. Yeah, Nicole Franzel had beef with Nicole as well because of her co-host. So yeah, apparently whoever you're associated with is important to Nicole Franzel. That's true. That is it. Yeah, exactly. Victor was so good on Amazing Race. They came in third, I believe, if I remember correctly, that season. And it was 75% Victor. He really carried that team. And it was really, really fun to watch. So if you guys have any downtime and want to watch Amazing Race 31, I highly recommend it. And then come here and watch our recaps because David and I really, really loved it and we recapped it. Danny is 100% against Janelle. I really give Danny the credit for planting the seeds that Janelle needs to go from minute one that they stepped in the Big Brother house. But because they have an outside relationship, it's unusual because they do have a connection enough that I don't think Danny would put Janelle up. Like, she's going to talk crap about Janelle every day, all day. And she really wants someone else to put her up and she will vote her out. But Danny can't be the one to do it. I don't fully understand the relationship, but it seems to be that's how they think and talk. And same way with Janelle. Like, Janelle thought she was working with Danny. She came into this house thinking they were working together, but then she learned she wasn't. And so Janelle has said, like, we're not going to go after each other. Janelle and Danny had this conversation of like, we're not going to go after each other, but we are not going to be close. We're going to not work together, basically, is what they said. Yeah, it sounds like Danny might be a little jealous of Janelle, or maybe she just doesn't like Janelle. But in her pre-interview before they got into the house, she said, like, I want to dethrone Janelle as like the queen of Big Brother or something like that. So yeah, it's either it's Janellecy. We know it. We have a new term, Janellecy. Or she just doesn't. Oh no, my voice sounds like Kristen Shaw. I honestly can't stand my voice. So the fact that you guys listen to me, I really do appreciate it, because when I listen back to my videos, I'm like, my voice is horrible. But that's funny. I've never heard that, Kristen Shaw. Janelle will watch the season at home when she's out and will not like Danny. I think she's going to be surprised. She's not aware of what Danny's doing. But you know what? Honestly, Danny's barely been on the show. So if Janelle just watches the show, she's not going to know everything that Danny's doing. Like Danny wasn't even in the first 3 episodes, which was shocking because Danielle was doing so much, or Danny, sorry, I'm calling her Danielle, was doing so much. Thank you, Seth. She's very funny. Whoops. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about this. These are more spoilers, you guys. Just a reminder, we're talking about spoilers. So we talked about at the top of this video that Enzo won Safety Suite and saved Christmas, which doesn't matter because neither one of them are going up this week with Tyler in charge. But Tyler was very open with Janelle and Kaser that they're going up, that the whole house wants it, and that both of them were talking about Tyler. His name was in their mouths kind of thing, which is true. They can't deny it, and they aren't denying it. They did say to him, like, I really wanted to work with you, which is true. I think they were skeptical of Tyler for like one of the days early, like one of the first few days. They were like, got to keep our eye on Tyler. But Tyler had also said to them, like, let's work together. And they were like, yeah. But they didn't circle back. They never circled back with him, and he never circled back with them because he was sort of brought in with the Memphis group and stuff like that. And he had David and Christmas, so like he didn't need them. So, Janelle and Kaser were both saying to Tyler, like, wish it could have worked out. And he was like, yeah, wish it could have, but here we are. So they know they're both going up. So when noms come back, I haven't gotten an alert that feeds are back yet. But when feeds do come back, we would know that Janelle and Kaser will be on the block. So one of them has to win veto. One of them has to win veto, but also that still doesn't, the other one's still going home, I think. Danny's in the biggest alliance of the season and has the least. I know. It's very weird that they haven't put Danny in the edit because she's in all of, I mean, there's so many fake alliances. There's so many alliances. But she is central. Her and Cody are central to most of the alliances. So it's unfortunate that if you're just watching the TV show, you think that like Cody and Memphis are running this house, which is, Memphis isn't running anything except his own little world. But Cody is very much involved. Cody and Danny are very, very much involved. Is it the vibe right now that Janelle would leave? Yeah. If both Janelle and Kaser are on the block, Janelle is probably going to be voted out. I think Cody's the only one that's more worried about Kaser. Everyone feels like Janelle is the stronger of the two, which I have to be honest, I think that's true. She wins comps. Kaser has never made jury, and she was final 3 twice. She was third twice. So they're saying Janelle's more dangerous. And they're also saying after Safety Suite's over, because today's the last Safety Suite, that they're worried that the next twist could be America's vote. And if it's America's vote, they feel like Janelle would have it, which accurate. First good read from all of y'all. Janelle would get whatever America could vote. So they were like, get her out before America has any say. So honestly, Janelle needs to win veto and take herself off to save herself. If Kaser takes himself off, yeah, it doesn't matter who goes up. Janelle's going. Let's see. If Janelle takes herself down and Kaser is up there, then if they put up an Ian or a Memphis, maybe But I still feel like Danny and Nicole Franzel are going to push so hard to break up the duo of Janelle and Kaser that I just don't feel like there's anyone else that could get the votes. It's miracles can happen and I'm going to be hopeful, but I just can't see the road, you know? Oh, interesting. Do you think Janelle would use the veto on Kaser? She seems to miss her family. She does miss her family, but she's such a gamer. I don't know that she would do that. I don't know. Yeah, we all would hope that if Memphis was the renom that he would go home. But even though so many people are over Memphis and they want him gone, a single Memphis is not as dangerous as a Janelle Kaser duo. So I think you still have that argument. I don't know. Janelle and Kaser would have to just make some amazing deals, which is possible, but they would have to make some amazing deals. And maybe Bailey and Davon realize that they're not in the best position that they think they are. Something like that. Some big stuff would have to happen for that to happen. But we've seen it before. Janelle and Kaser have had good luck in the past together. So I don't count it out. But it's just not super, super likely. It's too early. They won't give it to us. But yes, Kimberly, wouldn't it be nice if we had a reset and like we could change everything? Reset to week 1. That would be the best. Who do we think would win? Who do we think would win? Davon was my winner pick preseason, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really thought that she had grown, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like she's still playing the same game. So I'm going to say Tyler. Tyler's in the best position. Enzo's in a great position, but I think Tyler is also in a great position and he can outsmart Enzo. So I know not everyone's happy with Tyler right now, but he's playing a really good game. He really, really is. Yeah, unfortunately, Day has fallen into old patterns. I really had high hopes for her. Wouldn't a coup d'etat right now be amazing? Oh, so good. That is what we need. Trying to keep up with you. Comments. Tyler Enzo is probably going to win because they are good people. Yeah, they are. They're in with a lot of people and no one's really questioning them right now. Like Bailey's getting questioned. Davon's getting questioned. Danny's being questioned. Franzel's being questioned. Those people being questioned are going to be the next ones in trouble after we get Janelle and or Kaser out. Well, I don't think I love them as much as everybody else. Everyone seems to be hot on Kaser. It's not what I'm looking at. I am watching his gameplay, not his pants. Does that make sense? Oh my gosh. Bringing Rachel in for some sort of Pandora's box. No, honestly, I can't handle that. That kind of drama, I can't handle. That would be next level. Praying Day doesn't bring Bay down with her because she's been playing well. Yeah, I don't know. Like Bay is definitely doing better than Day, but Bay has really locked into this floater rat game. Like she is spewing a lot of secrets, which is a great strategy. Like I'm not taking this away from her, but it's it's a difficult game to play because you really have to be careful to cover your butt. And I'm like on my edge of my seat, like waiting because something might blow up for Bay. Like that just makes me nervous. So yeah, Bay is doing a little better than Day. So Day might be targeted before her, but like Bay is also being questioned, and it's it also seems like it might be hard for her. Like the other night, she was like really on edge, and I'm worried that she's gonna break under like her lies and like what she's telling who. So I'm actually very worried about Bailey and Davon. I don't think they're going to be the ones to split the house. I think it's going to be Danny and Cody. I think they're the ones who are going to be like, we don't believe you. Tyler is questioning Bailey and Davon. Like I don't, and I think that Bailey and Davon are clinging, even though they don't fully trust Danny and Cody and Tyler. They're clinging to that side because that side's in power. Obviously, they're not going to cling to the sinking ships of Janelle and Kaser. So that's understandable. But, you know, they're not being trusted and they're being questioned. So it's going to blow up pretty soon. As soon as, I said this earlier, but like as soon as whoever goes out, Janelle goes out this week or Kaser, the other person's going to be scooped up by somebody. And the target is probably going to turn to Bailey and Davon, is my fear. Unless Bailey and Davon get power and are willing to cut Danny or Franzel or Cody. I don't know if they have that in them. I don't know if they're willing to do that, you know? I do think Danny and Cody are very much aligned because they tell each other everything. I think Cody is aligned with Danny and Cody is aligned with Enzo. Those two seem to be the most real for Cody. And Danny is aligned with Nicole Franzel and Danny is aligned with Cody. Those seem to be legit. Like whatever information Danny has, she tells it to Cody and she tells it to Nicole Franzel. So those are real connections and alliances. I don't believe there's going to be a pre-jury buyback because, well, first off, Keisha is out of the house and did a podcast, and Nicole Anthony was given game information when she sat out there with Julie, and Julie was like, here's the people working against you. Janelle and Kaser were actually working with you. That's information that they don't give out if they're going to battle back. If they're going to battle back, they say, you know, nothing, because you're not allowed to know what's really going on. So the fact that Nicole got that information means that at least she's not going to have a battle back. It might be a jury battle back. That's still possible. But they're releasing the pre-jurors, and so they're not going to go back in. Janelle needs a twist. Yes, maybe a new room opening behind that green panel in that key room. I know. Why is that not a door? Right? It's not a door, it doesn't seem like. Yep, Julie spelled it out for Nicole. So that is not happening. Yeah, Tyler is questioning Danny for sure. So Tyler could be the one to get her out at some point. But more than likely what Tyler will do, because this is how Tyler rolls, is he will have Christmas or David win HOH, and he will be in their ear. He's got them locked in real well. And so those two will be the ones that do his dirty work. And Christmas is just like dying to win any comp. Excuse me, any comp, but especially in HOH. She can't wait. And what do we know about Christmas's game? She loves to be, I don't want to say putty in somebody else's hands, but she loves to play the game for someone else. If there is someone in her ear telling her how to play and telling her what to do, she is A-okay with that. She does it well. And so Tyler has stepped into the Paul shoes this season. And yep, exactly. Brandon is saying it exactly right. So Tyler will be right there being like, we don't trust Danny. Danny's got to go. We got to get Danny out. Or Memphis or whoever it is at the time. Like, you know, they definitely want Memphis out sooner rather than later. So he might be the next one on the hit list. But, you know, that's how Tyler's going to do it. He's going to have someone else take Danny out so that Danny doesn't know Tyler's onto her. Yeah, she's like, when can I win? What can I win? Can I win? Can I win? Can I win? Oh, remember her last week when she won Safety Suite? She was so excited the whole day. She was like on another level. She was so energetic. She couldn't stop talking about it. It's like her favorite thing to win a comp. She's not playing a horrible game, though. Like, I don't want it to sound like I'm poo-pooing her, because even though she's going to do whatever she's told by Tyler and Nicole Franzel, she's really close with Nicole Franzel. I can just call her Nicole now because Nicole Anthony's out. So Nicole, she's very close with her. But she's playing smart. She's like, she's friendly with a lot of people. No one's questioning her game. They all don't take her seriously because they think she's going to pop off and blow up on somebody at some point, and then she'll be a target ahead of them, and they're A-okay with that. It's that kind of thing. But yeah, she was like, she was like, walked in that door with Memphis. She's like, I wanna come. And Memphis is like, not even looking at her. He was like, I will not give you your ticker tape parade. I will not pat you on the back. I do not want to do that for you. She was like, oh, you're not happy that I won that comp? Oh, that was pretty funny. Come on, that was really funny. She was like, ha, ha, ha. She really thought she was walking into that HOH room, and they were going to be like, ha, ha, you did it, you did it, you did it. And Memphis was like, I don't care about you. Oh, Memphis. He is so good at deflating your balloon, popping your balloon. Well, it's not 100%. I mean, she will take your opinion over hers, right? Like, she'll have an opinion and then she'll hear what you say and then she'll have your opinion. But she does have opinions. Like, the fact that she thought that if I save Ian, I could have Ian on the side. You know, she's not putting all of her eggs in just the Tyler basket or the Memphis 6. What are they called now? The commission? I forget names now. She's not putting all of her eggs in that basket. Like, she is having thoughts of her own, but then they do go away when someone else tells her something. So I can't completely poo-poo Christmas's game. It's not horrible, is what I'm saying. Yeah, that was funny. Christmas and Franzel. Nicole. I can just call her Nicole. Oh my gosh. They like scampered away. They were so scared of Janelle and Kaser sitting in a room. Janelle and Kaser were sitting in the lounge last night, just like, well, our game's over. Like, this is it. And they were like laughing about how stupid Memphis is. And everyone else in the house was like, they're scheming. They're in there scheming. It's like, well, there's nothing they can really scheme about right now, guys. They're just laughing and having some fun because that's what they do. It would be nice if they could implode this week, but look, I won't say it can't happen. It could happen. We've seen it happen. We've seen things just completely turn 100%. It has happened in the past. So it could happen. We need a miracle for it. So everybody do whatever it is that you do to make things happen. It's not boring Customer service important. That's a great name too. It's not boring. There is more happening on the feeds than people are talking about. Like the episodes are, if you're just watching the episodes, it might seem boring. I don't know. And honestly, the feeds are hard to watch sometimes because they're doing a lot of bashing, a lot of mean girl activity from girls and guys. That's not just girls. It's hard. But there's a bunch of little duos and trios. It's not really one big alliance. It just feels that way because everyone is talking about Janelle and Kaser. So it feels like one big alliance, but it's not really. There's these little duos and trios. So even though it means we have to lose one of Janelle or Kaser, as soon as that happens, everyone has to turn their attention to these little duos and trios that they don't trust. And I do feel like it's decent game. It's decent. Like right now is not fun because they're just blaming everything on Janelle and Kaser and trying to do this like scapegoat route. That's not fun to watch. I agree. When the feeds are on Janelle and Kaser, I just watch them. They're so much fun to watch. They laugh at each other. They just talk about game. They don't bash other people. Although Janelle is starting. Okay, so back to this feud, though, you guys. The whole Janelle and Nicole Franzel, even though we just went over the whole thing and Janelle's like not even involved, but it's real. Whatever it is, it has manifested itself in the house. And so it is going to blow up this week. Janelle is talking more crap about Franzel. She is. And we know that we know that Janelle can lose it and go off on somebody. And Franzel is not good at talking back. So I feel like if it happens, Janelle's honestly going to destroy Nicole Franzel, and it's going to be another same thing that happened on Amazing Race. Janelle's going to go after Franzel. Franzel's going to cry, and it'll be exactly what happened with Rachel Riley. Hi, Tom. Welcome. Yeah, Enzo's in a great spot. Absolutely. I was talking earlier about how I think Enzo and Tyler are in the best place. But I think when it comes down to it, Tyler can take Enzo out. That's just my opinion. But everyone loves Enzo. No one's worried about him. No one's questioning him. They think he's just funny. I do too. He's hilarious. But he is playing. I mean, he threw out that hinky vote last night. Like, he's in it. He is in it. Yeah, flashbacks to Janelle and BB6. Yep. Janelle and Kaser were saying today, they were like, well, we're going on the block together. We've been here before, done this. And she was listing, she was like, Jennifer put us up together, and so did Danielle Reyes in BB7. And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that Janelle remembers all of that stuff is amazing. I do think there's going to be something else after. So today is the last day of the safety suite. But Julie set it up with us that like it's a season full of rooms, secret rooms and whatnot. So it does feel like after safety suite is over that there'll be something else. And the house guests have been talking about that too, of like, I wonder what the next twist will be. I don't know if they'll skip a week. But I think there will be something pretty quickly. I feel like it would be quickly. I wonder if it'll be America's Vote related at all. That would be fun, but our two faves are probably going to be out of the house by then. You're hoping for a Janelle Nicole fight that is even half the energy of the Janelle Bo fight. Did you guys hear Janelle talking about that fight with Bo? She said that because remember they had like a margarita party or whatever that party was, and they had that big margarita machine. And she said when Big Brother was like, okay, shutting it down, everyone go inside, she took a big bowl and she like unloaded the whole margarita machine, and she just like poured all the margarita into this bowl, and she like shoved it into a freezer somewhere. She made it sound like it was a separate freezer that no one knew about, so I don't know where it was, maybe in the storage room or something. But she was like, I shoved it in there, and she was like, and then just another night, like a night or two later, she was on the block and she was unhappy. She just went in and drank the whole bowl of margarita all by herself. She said she was so drunk that she like blacked out that night. And that was the night that she was like going off on Beau. And, you know, we knew she was drunk, but like that is so drunk. And it was hilarious to hear her retelling that story. That was, I mean, I love hearing like the behind the scenes of these moments that we know of from the show, but like what she was really going through. That's pretty funny. I love this idea, Ben. If we could have America's third nominee, who would we vote for? Would it be Franzel? I feel like it would be Franzel. Do you think that we would do that? I mean, I just love, even like America's vote for a third nominee is great because it just tells the House what we're thinking. They're not going to vote that person out. You know, that person's probably safe, especially like if it happened this week, Janelle Kaser go up, we vote Nicole Franzel up. And then everyone in the House is like, oh my God, they voted for Franzel. And then they're all going to save her. But I just love it when the House finds out how we're feeling about stuff. I mean, in BB6, it was so great. America got to vote on a few things and made the friendship realize a couple things. Ooh, having an HOH week would be really fun if we got to vote. But often we get the votes wrong. So it's dangerous. It's dangerous letting America vote for stuff because some people just watch a TV show and they don't really know what's happening. It is dangerous when we get involved. Oh, yeah, that phone call in BB6. I mean, that was pretty ridiculous. And Janelle was so petty to call Michael. Oh, my God. That was hilarious. Like, she didn't even use it to call, like, a best friend or a family member. I mean, that's so awesome. So awesome. Who do I think will ruin the alliance first? Well, it's not one big alliance. I'm going to remind everyone, it's not one big alliance. Because that big alliance we saw with Memphis, his 6, they took out Memphis and they took out Christmas. They brought in Enzo. Oh, they took out Nicole Franzel. They brought in Enzo, Davon, Bay, and they have a separate one. So it's like all of these alliances that kind of overlap. The central part is Cody and Danny. That is the central part, and that's what's important. Those two are really, really running stuff and have their fingers in a lot of bowls. So who do I think will actually break stuff up, though, is probably going to be someone like a Christmas or a David or an Enzo, maybe. Someone in the middle that is being manipulated by someone else. Although I don't think anyone's manipulating Enzo. But like if Christmas wins, Tyler's going to make her make a big move. You know what I mean? If Kevin wins, Kevin has horrible reads. He doesn't know what's happening in the house, but maybe someone gets in his ear and is like, you really should break this group up, you know, something like that. Is what I think will happen. Noms are happening right now, Ben. Just sorry, put that up there. Noms are happening right now, and I haven't seen anything come up that they're back. But we know it'll be Janelle and Kaser, so no surprise there. Danny is ready to blow. Danny, she came in strong. She's playing a really good game. She is in the middle of everything. Everyone wants to talk to her. And she's the one who I give credit to for planting the seeds of Janelle's dangerous. Janelle's the target. So I think that but she's getting mad at people. She's questioning a lot of people. So it's just like she's one of those that doesn't want to make the move. She's like Tyler. She wants someone else to do it for her. So, but yeah, within the next couple weeks, Danny's going to feel like it's late enough that she can make moves. So, well, who is she not upset with? She's upset with Janelle and Kaser for being Janelle and Kaser. She's upset with Davon and Bailey for not bringing back all of their information to them. She's upset with Memphis for not listening to her. She has a list. She has a list. Enzo's hinky vote. Yep. I think Enzo just wanted to blame it on somebody. And as of last night, they all assumed it was Kaser. But, like, who cares? If you're blaming something on Janelle or Kaser at this point, like, it doesn't matter. Everyone's already hating on them. So what if you're like, oh, what if he voted for Nicole? Like, who cares? You already know he was trying to save her all week long. You think that we need Kaser to win and then put Kevin up. Janelle could use not getting another girl out as her pitch. It's a decent pitch, but Kevin is not dangerous and Janelle is dangerous. So I think that's a hard sell. It's a big old hard sell. Enzo saved Christmas. Maybe not having much representation is really starting to get me. In which way is the representation? Enzo saved Christmas, which is a bit random. They didn't talk about it last night, even though they talked about saving all sorts of different ways. I don't remember him talking about Christmas. Hi, Diana. Everyone say congratulations to Diana because she just gave birth. Was it last week? I've lost track of time already, Diana. But Diana is a new first mom. Yay! First time new mom. Congratulations. The few times we've had senior citizens, it doesn't go well. I'm down for more of them because if you just have one on, it's an easy target. So that's a bummer. But I want more. Like BB Australia. Who watched that this season? How old was Marissa? She was like 66 maybe? 64? She was mid-60s and she killed it. She was so good and she was so feisty and it was so much fun to watch. I would love it. You have a bad feeling after Janelle's gone that Day, Bay, Kevin are right behind. Yeah, that's the reality. That is very, very possible. Because Davon and Bailey and Kevin are in a spot where they're playing the floater rat games where they are bringing information back and forth. And that's dangerous. It's such a dangerous game to play. And so they are easy targets. Once the big targets are out, that's who goes next. So they really do need to align. I know they don't want to. I know they don't want to stick with Janelle and Kaser because they think it's a sinking ship, but that's how they get safety in numbers. But they don't see it. They don't see it. Oh, yeah. So that means Christmas will have her punishment. Enzo talked to like Memphis about like he could choose Memphis, and Memphis was like, "Don't choose me. I don't want to be your +1." He's like, "I'm not about a punishment." He's like, "I'm not wearing a costume." And I was like, "This is very on brand for Memphis. Cannot have fun for the life of him." But Christmas she'll go for it, whatever it is. She'll be down for it. Oh, Scoot's hoping for a blow up. Well, everyone's expecting it, so I don't know if there will be a blow up, but there might be one soon. I really do think there's going to be one between Nicole and Janelle. I think it's going to happen, Cody. She's our veto queen. She's our comp queen, right? In the first episode, they said Danny had the most comps in one season, I believe, and they said Janelle had the most comps across the board. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. So let's go. Let's go. And Janelle did really well on Amazing Race, even though Brittany did not. So their team didn't do well. But Janelle individually was killing it at the challenges. So I still have high hopes in Janelle's skills. He might be a tough boss. The way he speaks to people, he might be a tough boss. Now, I do know that last night, Tyler, okay, thank you, Tahir. Am I pronouncing that right, Tahir? Last night, Tyler was talking about when they were saying like, who should we save if we win safety suite? Who's our +1? And Tyler was like, please don't choose Kevin or Ian. He's like, those are good backup renom options if Janelle or Kaser take themselves off the block. So it sounded like he'd be willing to put up a Kevin because if you put up Kevin, the other person's going out. I think Kevin's an easy pawn at this point. But then when he was talking to his closest people like David and Christmas, he was really emphasizing Memphis is dangerous. We don't know what Memphis is doing. He doesn't talk to us. He's, he can go rogue. So to Tyler, that's dangerous. He can't control Memphis. And so Tyler is going to want Memphis out soon. And he sort of phrased it to David, like once Janelle and Kaser are gone, Memphis will be the next target. So do I think he's going to be backdoored? Probably not, but he possibly could be. It is a possible law. Yeah. Tyler is also a veto king. Janelle is our veto queen. Tyler is our veto king for sure. So, and Tyler was talking like, I can beat her. I can beat her. So who knows? Yeah, that would work. Oops. Yes. How many times have we said everyone should just listen to Kaser? Is Janelle pretty much guaranteed America's favorite player now based on how the rest talk about her, or does she have to last a while? I know Cody won season 19, and he went out way early. I think so too. I think Janelle is America's favorite player this year, no matter when she goes out. If she goes out this week, I think she's still America's favorite player. Which is unusual. People who go out early don't usually win. And something else could happen down the road that makes us just go like, oh no, Bailey got screwed and this and that. And so we all want to like vote for Bailey or something. Something could happen down the road where we forget. But at this point, I think everyone's remembering that Janelle came in with a house full of Janelle-acy, and it was rough to watch, and those people tend to get voted America's favorite player. Now, America's favorite player, I don't think existed for BB6, correct? No. Or was that the first year? I forget. I know Janelle has won it in BB7, but I feel like that was the first year BB7 was. Back to my stats, people. So, because I was going to say, has she won it more than once? It might have been. Thank you, Seth. It was BB7. And she was the first America's Favorite Player. Because they were talking last night about how Nicole is the reigning America's Favorite House Guest, and she was just voted out. And, they're all under the impression that Janelle and Kaser, used and abused Nicole. So they're like, America must hate Janelle and Kaser for what they did to the reigning America's Favorite House Guest. And they were like, the next one, Tyler is the next. If we're going in order, Nicole was the most recent. Tyler is the next recent one in the house. And so they're like, now America loves him the most. When you're locked away in a house, you don't always know what's happening in the world. You don't always have the best reads. You got to remember, they don't know what they're in a bubble. They don't know what they're talking about sometimes. Season 40 of Survivor did not have Sia money because they're all already rich. They're all millionaires already. So Sia was like, y'all don't need my money. That was off topic, but I like it because it's still in our world. Survivor, we love it. It's a fickle friend. That's right, Lucy. Because you know what? America is fickle, and we will love you one second and we will hate you the next. Is how it goes down, basically. You know what I'm saying? All right. I haven't seen Noms come back yet, but it should be soon, I would imagine. And oh, wait, hold on. I got to read a tweet here from Coco Caliente since we're talking about this feud. Oh boy, here we go. Someone's got some tweets. Oh boy. Coco Caliente is sending texts or posting texts from Janelle. Oh, this is from Janelle. Okay. Hey, Nicole, it's Janelle. Just wanted to say that I had such a great time with you and I had really enjoyed getting to know you. I think you're an amazing woman and racing with you and Victor was very comforting for me. And Brittany, thank you for helping us when you could. I'm sorry about all the Rachel drama. I wish everyone would get along. Now the response. Hey, Janelle, thanks so much for the kind words. We really loved racing with you and Brittany as well. And I'm glad I got to know you and hang out with you. And yeah, I feel like I'm being punked, lol. Okay, then Janelle comes back with, Rachel is mad at me because I sent the above text to her sister, Alyssa. Oops, I didn't have your number. Well, anyway, I do like the Riley sisters, but like you two, wish everyone would stop fighting, lol. They told me, then Janelle continues, they told me I had to pick a side and I told them I would not be doing that. See, this just confirms what I just said. I just said Janelle is like not in this beef and she's the one that got information on the first few days of being in the BB22 house that Nicole was bringing it into the house. Now, whether that's true or not, Janelle is under the impression that Nicole brought it into the house. Okay, Nicole's response is, oh no, and you definitely don't need to pick a side. It has nothing to do with anyone but themselves, lol, and thanks for being so sweet. And then, okay, so also there's a tweet here from Alyssa saying, Janelle accidentally sent me a text that was supposed to go to Nicole that specifically said she loves us all and will be friends with everyone. This has nothing to do with Rachel. This is a person who gaslights and deflects to save face. So Alyssa is backing up. Why did this come from Coco Caliente? This is confusing. But Alyssa is backing up that Janelle is not picking a side, that she was trying to be friendly and supportive to everyone, which it did sound like that from the text that Coco Caliente posted. Holy macaroni. This is drama. But anyway, Janelle wasn't involved in the drama that happened on The Amazing Race. It seems like Janelle was trying to stay out of it, but Janelle is now under the impression that Nicole brought it into the Big Brother house. And so Janelle is going to be like, oh, well, let's go then. If that's the way you want to be, let's go. I mean, yes, Coco Caliente is Victor. He's running that. Look, they go into the house, the Big Brother house, and I think that you sometimes can't think straight inside. You think one thing and then you blow it up into something big, whether it's true or just half true. And so this whole Amazing Race thing is just getting blown up to be bigger than it was. Because I think ultimately Nicole Franzel wanted Janelle out of the house, period, end of story. She's aligned with Danny, and Danny wanted Janelle out of the house. So again, Janelle's not involved in the Amazing Race drama. Team Fun was the best team. Well, I also like Tycor, but like Team Fun's so great. The fact that they're like brought in the middle of this is what it is. Would it be in the best interest for Janelle and Kaser to blow things up before the veto ceremony? It seems that if they want to make a play, it has to be before the veto is or isn't used. It has to be big. Sure. Yes. Something needs to blow up and change. Something has to change to make anyone else the target. What that is, I do not know. You know, it's probably they would want to blow this up with like Nicole Franzel bringing in Amazing Race stuff, yada, yada, yada. Nicole's too close to Ian. Nicole's too close to Cody. Like whatever they can blow up. What do you mean, ooh, not Tycor? Tycor was awesome. Corey Cool is adorable. And he was really good on the race. He did everything for Tyler. Tyler didn't do anything. So I should just say Team Corey Cool. And I stand by it. That's a good question, Alice. Everyone has a different reason. I don't hate anybody. I want to go on record that I do not hate anybody. I'm just here to talk about it. Some people have better games than other, but I don't hate. Oh. Yeah. They really could blow up Day and Bay. But here's the thing. They don't know that. Janelle and Kaser, as much as we love them, they only have half good reads. The bad part of the read is they think that Davon and Bailey are just on the outs and they don't realize what they're doing. Janelle and Kaser have no idea that Davon and Bailey are running back everything to that group. So yes, they could blow them up because that's more believable for Tyler, Cody, Danny. If Janelle and Kaser blow up Day-Bay, that could change Tyler, Cody, Danny's mind because they're already questioning them. But Janelle and Kaser don't know that they should do that. So that's what has to happen. Bailey has to get caught or Davon has to get caught so that Janelle and Kaser know, they figure it out, and then they have to blow that up. That's the miracle. Unfortunately, I don't want Day and Bay to be caught in the middle of it, but yeah, it is. It's hard to watch. It's super hard to watch Janelle and Bailey being like BFF and then Bailey running all of that back and being like, oh, and then she said this, and then, oh, she said this. And I'm like, Bailey, why are you doing this for me? You're breaking my heart. Well, that was fun. Oh, feeds are back. Feeds are back. Let's see. Yeah, also on Twitter, they're like, what is Victor doing? He's giving, it looks like he's on Janelle's side with that kind of info. But it is nice to just say, hey, like Janelle wasn't coming after Nicole. Feeds are back. Tyler has nominated Janelle and Kaser. It is official. That is what I'm saying. All right, you guys. Well, I will jump back on the feeds then. Thank you guys so much for joining me live and chatting with me. Now we know. Now we've all discussed the feud. It's probably going to keep growing bigger into something, even though it just 100% doesn't need to. But here we are. It's 2020. What do we expect, y'all? What do we expect? So, before we go, this is a really great question, Mimi. How are Nicole and Ian safe? You know, it's things like that you ask yourself all the time. How are the two winners so safe? Well, I will say that Nicole is really protected with Cody, Danny, and Tyler right now. So, well, thank you. I love you guys too. I appreciate you jumping on with me last minute to talk through this. David and I have decided we're going to up our videos. We're going to do lives on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays now instead of just Mondays and Thursdays. And I will try and jump on and do some of these lives by myself whenever there's something extra to talk about, noms or whatever. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me live. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're watching this later, please leave me a comment. Oh, you know, subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. I'm almost to 5,000 subscribers, so I super appreciate all of you guys subscribing. And if you, oh my goodness, we've got the man of the hour is here. We are so close to 5,000, so help us get there. We're almost there. We really, really do appreciate all of the support. So David and I will be back on Monday, and we will see you guys then. Bye.